Hello guys and welcome to part 1 of a video series. In this video I'm gonna be covering early game macro, wave management, warding timings, recall timings, and how to prevent enemies from taking dragons. So what are we waiting for? Let's get to it. So first things first, you should be covering the lanes when the game starts, so make sure that one of you, either support or ADC, stands in one of these bushes and you cover both entrances. For a red side, make sure that you're standing in this bush specifically, because you don't want to stand in this bush because enemies can easily cheese you, and that way you're probably gonna have to waste your flash. And for the other side, you should be going right here because you don't want to get cheese through bush. You also want to make sure that you have vision here, so you want to make sure that we are unable to cheese you out, right? Of course you're gonna have vision on the bot side, so we won't be able to invade you. After you have covered the lane, make sure if an enemy ADC is leashing and you're not leashing, make sure that you start auto-attacking the wave, right? And which minion you should be auto-attacking. So if enemy ADC is leashing and you're not leashing, you should auto-attack the caster minion once, so your minion dies faster, and we're gonna be losing one minion, which is gonna give you an XP advantage. Therefore you're gonna have level advantage in the bot lane. Another great option would be to start killing the melee minions, but make sure that you're not killing them too fast so the next wave comes around this spot, right? And when the next wave comes, you can crush in the turret, and depending what champions are playing, you can either harass them under the turret, look for a hook, look for a poke, or another great option would be to go into enemy jungle and ward right here. This ward will provide a lot of value, and you should be warding here as much as possible. So whenever a blue buff and Gromp is up, for example, and maybe enemies fake leash, right? And then you're gonna know where the jungler is. Also in lower divisions, this ward gonna be really good because a lot of people don't take consideration where the enemy bot lane started, and then they suddenly get picked out top lane, right? Another really important decision to make is to make sure that you're pinging your top laner when you know that the enemy jungler is coming. Therefore you're gonna be saving him most of the time. Of course, if he ignores the ping then still proceeds to play aggressive, that's alright, and it's his mistake and nothing you can do about that. Alright, so right now you got level 2 advantage, you already shoved in the wave, you went for a jungle ward. What do you do next? So depending on the champions that you have, you have two options. Either let the wave push back to you, and if you're stronger you can hold the wave here and permanently make sure that enemies are in terrible position. Another thing that you can do if you're playing something like Caitlyn Lux, right? What you can do is just non-stop pressuring the enemy bot laner, because you already have great vision control in the enemy jungle, and you know that the enemy jungler is pathing away from you. You can continue pressuring the tower. So when you should be recalling, you should always aim to recall when the next wave is a cannon wave, right? So you have the most time to come back to the lane, and it's a great opportunity to recall. Another great recall timing would be whenever for example you get a big bot lane, right, and then you shove in the wave and then you look for a reset to spend your gold, so you're not stuck in lane with a lot of gold. Another important thing is whenever you crush a huge wave under turret, make sure that your tempo is correct, right? So make sure not to greed for replays most of the time. Make sure that you're resetting. Of course, if it's gonna take you a little amount of time and you're not gonna be losing too much tempo on the map, sure, go for a plate. But if you feel like, okay, I don't have that time to to go for a plate, just reset, because you don't want to lose the dragon, right? So right now, for example, you get a pick, right? And then I see so many ADC mains doing this mistake, which is continue pushing and greeding for that 63 gold because they're gonna be sharing it with support, right? And then looking for a reset, and when enemy team comes in and they push out the wave, and then you have to you're forced to collect the wave under your turret, and then the enemies just rotate to the dragon, bot lane rotates to the dragon, and we get dragon for free while you're collecting the CS under the turret. And of course, if you're gonna be joining the fight instead, you're gonna be missing out on a huge wave, and it's still gonna be a win-win scenario for enemy bot lane. So to prevent that, just don't go for a plate whenever dragon is up, right? Just reset, and it's gonna pay out huge dividends in the long term. Another great strategy to use is slow pushing. So for example, the wave crashed into you, and right now the wave is bouncing back to them, and you have prior in the lane, you have a kill advantage. What do? You slow push the wave in. So you make sure that you stack several waves on top of each other while only last hitting the minions. And after that, you just shove in the wave, right? For example, you stack one wave, you stack two waves, and the third wave you shove in under a turret, and there's a huge wave here. And then you have two options. You either look for a reset, and then of course you don't have enough time to push out the waves, you come back and you have item advantage. Or if you're healthy and you don't have that much gold, this is your just first wave after you came back to the lane, right? You feel like, okay, I don't have any meaningful items to buy, right? What you can do is go back to the jungle and ward the blue buff and the Grom. Also, same thing applies from other side. You just go into enemy jungle and you ward either Krugs or red buff, or if you even have a lot of time, you can also ward Raptors. Alright, so right now you have vision here. You can continue pressuring, you keep pressuring the enemy bot lane, and eventually you will get their turret. After you get their turret, you need to make sure that you're rotating mid lane, right? And you're swapping the places with your mid laner, so you're safe to actually stay in the lane and make sure that your bounty is safe, because at that point, of course, you killed the enemy bot laner several times, you're gonna have a bounty. So to avoid losing the bounty, just go to the safest lane game, which is the mid lane, because it's the shortest lane in the game. Therefore, it's gonna be the best spot to be in. So that's about it for this video. Part 2 gonna be coming out tomorrow, and if it already came out, there's gonna be a little notification up on the right side of your screen popping in right now. So click on it and go to the part 2 of a series. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and have a nice rest of your day.